What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Don't forget as well, please, to like and share the vids. Again, thanks to everyone that continues to do that. You can also support the channel as well. I do have a Patreon account. The link is in the description. All right, let's continue our What Next series. And let's go to the light heavyweight division and discuss what next for the unbeaten Joshua Buatsi. Interesting. I have to admit, I'm a big Buatsi fan. I am. I just love the way he carries himself. I mean, that's it. I just like the fact that there is no extra baggage. There is no trash talk. He just goes in there, gets the job done and goes home. That's it. I mean, I don't know him personally. I don't know if that's just for the cameras, but every time you see an interview of him, he just never speaks badly about his opponents. Always calm and collected. And that's just refreshing, especially nowadays where everyone's trying to trash talk themselves into fights. Everyone says outlandish thing on camera. He just doesn't do any of that. And it just reminds me of a throwback fighter. I don't know why, he just does. So yeah, I do like him. But what next for him? The last time we saw him in the ring was in August, I think, O2 Arena against, I think it was Ryan Ford. Didn't look great. Got the job done. A bit controversial. Remember, Ryan Ford was complaining about the low blows after, but regardless, got the job done. And I think he took his record to 12-0. Was supposed to fight in November against former world title challenger Blake Caparello. That was going to be in the undercard of Katie Taylor's fight and Anthony Crowder's farewell fight, but he got injured and had to pull out of that one. So we haven't seen him in the ring since August. And I just get a sense from people, it's almost like out of sight, out of mind. People have stopped talking about Buatsi. Don't know. I feel like my expectations of 2020 for Buatsi have almost calmed down a bit. I think if he had that fight against Caparello, or if he had a fight against anyone in between that fight against Ryan Ford, and you were to ask me what I expect from Buatsi in 2020, it wouldn't have been going for a world title, don't get me wrong, but it would have been maybe at the back end of 2020, a fight against those guys that are kind of fringe world level. I would have predicted that. Now, just because, again, he's not fought since August, it wasn't the greatest performance, I've kind of tapered off what my expectations are for 2020. Now I just want to see him build again, if I'm honest with you. And I know people might be disappointed to hear that, but I don't know. I was just looking at the light heavyweight rankings and fucking sharks everywhere. Sharks everywhere. Forget about the world champions. Forget about Bertibiev and Bivol and even Vodsdik, former world champions. Forget about those guys. I'm talking about the guys below them. The guys just below them, sharks everywhere. We saw Jean-Pascal Badou-Jack. We saw that fight. And I mean, I wouldn't put him in with either of those. Marcus Brown's around. We saw Joe Smith on the weekend. Look good. I mean, there's those kind of guys, right? Those kind of guys that themselves are world level trying to fight for the titles. You wouldn't put him in with any of those. So Eddie Hearn and Matchroom have got a job on here. What they've got to do in 2020 is find fights for him that he can learn from, fights that he can gain experience from, and ideally put him in there with guys that will take him rounds. But at the same time, they've got to please us fans as well, right? I mean, I just don't want to see Buatsi in there against Joe Bloggs. I want to see him in there against someone. But again, the problem is when you look in that top 20, top 25, that someone is going to come with some danger. I thought Caparello was a good name. I thought that was a good name. Again, former world title challenger. Has been in there with Kovalev. Put Kovalev down, by the way. Pete Kovalev. So I thought that was a good name. I mean, they're going to need to look at guys like that. And maybe at the back end of 2020, he takes a big step up. And I'm thinking of a Joe Smith type step up. And that's scary. But I mean, that's what you got to do, right? He's an Olympian. He's an Olympic bronze medalist. That means he's already, I don't know, he's already above someone like a Yard for me because he's got that experience of the amateur background. So he's already above that. And we've seen Yard take that step up. I would like to, I feel like if you ask people prior to Yard fighting Kovalev, if you ask people who they would favor out of Yard and Buatsi, I think a lot of people, maybe like 80-20 would have gone Buatsi. I wonder what they would say now. I would still favor Buatsi, but I wonder what they say now. Again, that's how I feel like the expectations for Buatsi's gone down. Maybe stock's taken a bit of hit as well. But I do think it's going to be a good 2020. I don't think it's going to be spectacular. If anyone's expecting him to like be in the mix at world level, that's just not going to happen. He's going to probably have, without any injuries, 4, maybe 5 fights. And I expect his 5th fight, so we're talking right at the end here, to be someone of note. But what do you guys think about Buatsi? What are you expecting in 2020? Are you expecting anything in 2020? And like me, have your expectations for Buatsi slightly dimmed a little bit? Just because, again, we've not seen him since August. And when we did last see him, it wasn't great. And I think people are in the mindset, kind of like me, of what have you done for me lately? And it's been a long time since we've seen him do anything. Peace.